And on the line at this time, I have legendary R&B singer Glenn Jones. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. So tell the listeners where you calling in from.
Well, actually, I'm in Washington, D.C. right now. But I really am from Virginia. I've been living in Virginia for the past 9 years.
Okay. Well, I want to say, before we start, legendary, and I appreciate, you giving us the opportunity to interview you. And I just had an old school event. Some artists don't consider themselves old school, but I had an event and I definitely had your song playing, and people are still feeling your song. So I appreciate you, having me interview you.
That's great, man. I mean, it's a good feeling to know that the music that I've done is still relevant. People, they have different times and periods in their lives when they like to go back, and they can go back. So I remember that was my song. We've only just begun. Right. Show me, I've been searching. And I've always tried to do that kind of music. It's just like, a great artist like Stevie Wonder. His music is timeless. It's timeless. So that's always been my goal to do that type of music.
Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned timeless, because that's my word, timeless. I always say that, and I definitely consider your music to be timeless. So, definitely. So let me ask you this: how did you begin your singing career, or when did you begin it?
Man, it began, a long time ago when I was a little kid, and I started really. I discovered that I could sing when I was about 5 years old, and I discovered it in church, and it started off from there. And, I started to record records in my early teenage years, and I'd actually recorded a record before that. I recorded a record when I was about 11 years old. I recorded a record in Nashville with a gospel group that I was singing with. And from there, I started to write songs, and then I put together a group. Some young guys that I grew up with. We started a gospel group, down in Jacksonville, Florida, which is where I was born and raised. And it just kind of took off from there.
Okay, definitely. Like I said, most people start off at the church, either on the choir or, at a family reunion. And mother say, "Hey, my son or my daughter can sing," and get to singing. So, definitely some roots.
Well, my mother never had to, really ask me to or push me to, even though she did. She was there to support me, but I always knew that was my life, my call. And I always wanted to do it.
Right. So, did you come from a background of singers?
No, man. Actually, I come from a pretty big family. It was 9 of us, 7 boys and 2 girls. And actually, I came in at number 9. I was the last one, and I'm the only music person, of the siblings. I was the only one that just naturally had that talent and that was students.
Okay. So definitely the only one out the family. So something to look up to, and definitely be feeling your songs. So let me ask you this: you have many classic songs, like you said, "Show Me," "We Only Just Begun," "I've Been Searching." So what song is requested the most from your fans for you to sing?
Well, I would probably say that "We've Only Just Begun" is probably my signature song. Okay. Even though I had a record, "We've Only Just Begun" it went to number 2. But I had a record called "Here I Go Again," which was actually a number 1 record.
Right.
And it's a great record. The record did well. A lot of people love the record. But somehow "We've Only Just Begun" seems to be a signature song.
Okay. Because after our interview, I'm gonna play because I got all your classics and your hits. So after the interview, I'm gonna, bless the audience with if they don't remember, they will remember.
Right. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
So, do you enjoy performing live or being in the studio creating? Which one you enjoy the most?
Well, I enjoy performing live because you get that instant gratification. You get to see people, respond to the music. You see people dance, and like I said, people just going back, kind of, remembering, certain times in their lives. Like I've had people that, said that they heard one of my songs, and that was a song they fell in love to. When they first met, that significant other, So I really enjoy playing live, but I also enjoy creating, just coming up with an idea, and just to see it, come to pass, just to see it grow, blossom into something, that's that's pleasing, to the ear. So I enjoy both, actually.
Okay. So let me fast forward a little bit. Tell us about your new single or your album, and where could the listeners find your music?
Well, I do have a new song, a new single called Because of You, which actually is featured on this new project. This is a project called Jimmy B and Friends. And Jimmy B and Friends is really a compilation record with a lot of different, great artists, such as Phil Perry and Daryl Albright. Got a very talented cat named Brian Nesbitt, who's a bass guitarist, jazz guitarist. So my song is the R&B song on the album. It's a song that's been doing pretty good. I mean, it's really starting to build, the playing in a lot. On Satellite Radio,
Right.
And we're starting to get some response, from network radio. So
good.
It's a great song. It's typical Glenn Jones. It's really. It's very fresh and now and very relative. But it's not like I said, okay, I want to stay in the mainstream, so I'm going to try to do something that's a little bit out of my character. It's not like that. It's a song that fits the times and it fits me.
Right, definitely. And I actually, have the song, and I heard the song, and definitely love the song. And we do have it on rotation on Hotline Radio, so this way everybody can hear it. And I'm gonna play that also after the interview. So, keep up the good work. I definitely liking the song. So, where could I know you said it was Satellite Radio is playing it. Where could they find it? Is it actually on iTunes?
Well, you know how retail and radio has changed so much. So pretty much you can go to any of the sites like iTunes or Amazon.com, just most of the major internet sites. You can go there and buy it, download it.
Okay, definitely. And will there be any collaborations with any other artists in the future? Do you see any collaboration?
I'm always open to that. I've been working. I've been collaborating with my wife on a new record. It's actually an inspirational or gospel record, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Very positive. Kind of record, and I've been in the midst of that. We completed like half the album, half the CD, and we want to wait until after New Year, so we're going to go back and finish the rest of that. And I do have a new album coming out, R&B album coming out this year too. So
okay.
There's a lot going on, man. I love music, and I'm not just, I'm not in a box. I'm not just committed to one thing, you know. I was raised in the church. You know, my mother, you know, she brought me up in the church, and the gospel music is something that I will always love. You know, I mean, my whole thing, my whole approach has always been, you know, flavored with that kind of feel to it. You know, most people can listen to my records and say, "Oh yeah, I believe, you know, some gospel around that." Right. You know, and it's just being who I am. It's like, you know, Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul. I mean, come on, you listen to her.
Exactly.
You know, she was in church on Sunday morning. Exactly. You know. Right. So that's the same thing for me. But yeah, there are a couple of different projects that I have coming out this year.
Okay. So let me ask you this. I know some artists don't like to compare, but what would you say is the difference between today's R&B compared to years ago? Would you say there's a difference, or?
Well, I think that, you know, music from back in the day was a little more original. I think it was a little more distinguishable, you know? Right. Very distinctive sound. I mean, when you heard Marvin Gaye, you knew who it was. Right. You know, when you heard Stevie, you knew who it was. When you heard Bobby Womack, you know, there's a lot of the new music that sometimes, you know, even I can't keep up with. I can't distinguish who's who, you know. I think, you know, music has become a little more contrived, you know. It's just like, it's not about, you know, having your flavor or doing your thing, you know, just following your path, you know. It's about trying to figure out, you know, what's the new style, what does everybody else do? Right. You know, and people tend to go with that, and that can be possibly, you know, because of, you know, some of the record labels, you know. But back in the day, you know, they used to sign artists because they wanted their sound. They wanted what they did. Right. Their distinctive sounds, what they wanted, and they went after it. So, you know, the OJs was OJs, the Commodores was Commodores, LTD was LTD, and you would always know, you know. But sometimes, you know, now, you know, at least for me, I'm not too sure who I'm listening to. Right. I definitely can relate. I understand what you're saying. Definitely. And like you said, that word again, timeless. So, yeah. Definitely. So, do you have any upcoming events or shows coming up? Yeah, I have a few things on the calendar. Next weekend I'll be doing an event down in Huntsville, Alabama on the 16th on this week, actually. Okay. And then on the 24th I will be in Long Island, New York. I believe I'm on the show with the Delphonics. And, you know, just take it as it comes, man. You know, with this game, you know, you get like 20 phone calls, you know, for people that want to book shows. You know, sometimes you might, you know, get five of the gigs out of the 20, you know. So, you know, it's interesting, you know. It keeps you on the grind, it keeps you on your toes, you know. So. Exactly. So you mentioned, because I'm in New York, I'm in Long Island. So where at in Long Island you going to be? You know what, man? You're going to have to maybe hit my Facebook page because, you know, my agent, you know, he booked the show, and to be truthful, I'm not really sure. So it's like, it's okay. Where's my airline ticket? I want you to be a fan, you know. When do I have to be there? Right. I'm there. I understand. I'm definitely going to hit it up, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to definitely be there because old school, the timeless, the Delphonics, yourself, you know, hey, definitely memories, you know, bringing back memories. Yeah. So, Max, what advice would you give to people that still trying to come up in their career, to keep their career alive? Do you give any advice to the, you know, artists or someone come up to you and say, you know, what advice would you give me? I mean, you know, I don't have the formula, you know, to, you know, how you do it because it's a different process for everybody. But the main thing that I'm always trying to do was to, be ready. Just it's important. Like when you do go out and play live dates,
right?
First impression is a lasting impression. And there's so many times when people go to see somebody live, and they're like really disappointed.
Right. Definitely.
So I would say, study your craft, know your craft, and try to be about the business, stay on top of your business because, sometimes music business just as well as other, business can be really, it can be rough, man. It can be very shady,
Exactly.
And there are a lot of people looking for a free ride, want to ride on you, to get where they want to go and get what they want, and just like I heard Bill Cosby say one time, count your own money. That's always good advice.
Right.
And try to surround yourself, man, with people that that's got your back, not people that's just going to tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
Because they're looking to get something from you, Surround yourself with people that's going to tell you the truth. They'll love you.
Exactly. I like that. That's definitely true. Definitely. So, I know you mentioned Facebook. Do you have any other social networking sites that people can follow you on?
Oh yeah, you can hit me up on Instagram, Glenn Jones. You can hit me up on Twitter, Real Glenn Jones.
Okay.
And you can hit me up on my website, GlennJonesMusic.com.
Okay. Definitely. All right. So, any last minute acknowledgments or shout outs you want to give at this time?
Well, I just want to say I appreciate people like yourself, people that's doing the internet radio thing because, the business has changed a lot, as I mentioned earlier. And the whole game, the whole process, the retail game, radio, it's a different time, now. So we have to use any tools that are accessible to get it out there and let people know what we're doing. Because if people don't know that you have fun out there, if they don't know, they don't know.
Exactly.
So the main thing is to be able to get the word out. And what you do and other people like yourself do is very important. And I appreciate it, just as many other my peers do. We talk about this kind of thing all the time, so it's definitely appreciated.
No problem. And I appreciate you giving myself and Hotline Radio opportunity to interview you. I mean, like I said, I consider you a legend in the game. You've been doing this for a long time. And like I said, when I played that song on Saturday, the floors got packed. So everybody still love it. They still love it. So
that's what's up.
Definitely. And I wish you much success in your career. And like I said, thanks again. No problem. And
all right, my brother, it was a pleasure talking to you, man. God bless.
All right, thank you. You have a good night, all right?
All right.
Okay.
No doubt.
All right, okay. All right, bye-bye.